Good evening. This is All India Radio and I am Valsa Williams with the news at 9. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says Hindustan Aeronautics Limited is playing an important role in making India Atmanirbhar, inaugurates country's biggest helicopter manufacturing plant and various other projects in Karnataka. 2 earthquakes claim over 2,000 lives in Turkey and Syria. Government to dispatch rescue teams, relief materials to quake-hit Turkey and Syria. International aid also pours in. Opposition's protest over Adani issue stalls parliament proceedings for third day in a row. Political parties and leaders pick up election campaigning in Tripura, Meghalaya and Nagaland. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today launched various development programs in Tumkuru after inaugurating the country's biggest helicopter manufacturing plant in Karnataka. Addressing the gathering on the occasion, the Prime Minister said the double-engine government at the centre and the state has increased the pace of development in Karnataka.
डबल इंजन सरकार के ईमानदार प्रयासों के कारण आज भारत के नागरिक का विश्वास बुलंदी पर है, आत्मविश्वास बुलंदी पर है। हम हर देशवासी का जीवन सुरक्षित करने के लिए, भविष्य समृद्ध करने के लिए दिन रात मेहनत कर रहे हैं। आपका निरंतर आशीर्वाद ही हम सभी के लिए ऊर्जा है, हमारी प्रेरणा है।
The Prime Minister further added that the recent budget announcements have reinforced the routes that will transform India into a developed country by 2047. He pointed out that India today manufactures assault rifles to aircraft carriers within the country and our armed forces are given weapons and equipment made in India. He said the doors have been opened for the private sector to contribute to defence production.
बीते 8 वर्षों में हमने एक तरफ सरकारी फैक्ट्रियां, सरकारी डिफेंस कंपनियों के कामकाज में सुधार किया, उनको ताकतवर बनाया। वहीं दूसरी तरफ प्राइवेट सेक्टर के लिए भी दरवाजे खोले। इससे कितना लाभ हुआ वो हम हिंदुस्तान एरोनॉटिक्स लिमिटेड में भी देख रहे हैं।
Mr. Modi took on the opposition for their false allegations against the government, which he said provoked people by saying that HAL is being weakened. He said today HAL is playing an important role in making India Atmanirbhar. Mr. Modi said the setting up of the helicopter manufacturing unit of HAL in Tumkuru will help the growth of auxiliary units around the town and generate employment. Small and medium industries will also thrive, he added. On setting up the industrial township in Tumkuru, the Prime Minister said this will be a part of the Bengaluru-Chennai and Bengaluru-Hyderabad industrial corridor. The Prime Minister also spoke at length on the union budget announced recently. Union Petroleum and Natural Gas Minister Hardeep Singh Puri today said the government is taking transformative measures to increase domestic exploration and production of traditional hydrocarbons. Speaking at the India Energy Week 2023 in Bengaluru, the Petroleum Minister said India has already pledged to become net zero in emissions by 2070 and cut down the emission by 1 billion tonnes by the end of 2030. India and the European Union today announced the establishment of 3 working groups under the India-EU Trade and Technology Council (TTC) and their terms of reference. They are a working group on strategic technologies, digital governance and digital connectivity, a working group on green and clean energy technologies, and a working group on trade, investment and resilient value chains. The External Affairs Ministry in a statement said TTC was launched by Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President of the European Commission Ursula von der Leyen during her visit to India in April last year. The death toll due to massive earthquakes in Turkey and Syria has gone up to over 2,000, while thousands of people are injured in the region. The magnitude 7.8 earthquake struck at 4:17 a.m. local time in Gaziantep, about 90 kilometers from the Syrian border. Local media said over 1,000 people were killed in Turkey alone after the first quake, with more than 5,300 wounded. Syrian authorities said 783 people died and more than 2,000 were injured. Authorities said at least 20 aftershocks followed the first massive quake. Hours later, a second giant earthquake of magnitude 7.6 struck more than 60 miles away in southeastern Turkey's Kahramanmaraş region. Millions of people across Turkey, Syria, Lebanon, Cyprus and Israel felt the earthquake. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan said 2,818 buildings collapsed in today's quake, calling it his country's largest disaster since 1939. India and other countries, along with international organizations, are rushing aid to the earthquake-hit region. The government of India has decided to immediately dispatch search and rescue teams of the National Disaster Response Force, NDRF, and medical teams, along with relief material to Turkey. The decision was taken in a meeting held by Principal Secretary to the Prime Minister, Dr. P.K. Mishra, in New Delhi today in the light of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's instructions. The Prime Minister expressed grief over the loss of lives due to the earthquake in Turkey and Syria. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said India is committed to providing assistance and support in this difficult time. Both houses of parliament were adjourned for the day following opposition's protest over the Adani Group issue. This was the third consecutive day when the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha could not transact any substantive business due to disruption by the opposition parties. Union Minister of Housing and Urban Affairs Hardeep Singh Puri has said around 123 lakh houses were sanctioned under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban PMAYU during the last fiscal, of which 68 lakh houses were completed and handed over till last month. In a written reply to the Rajya Sabha today, he said the centre has approved 2 lakh crore rupees under the scheme, out of which 1.36 lakh crore rupees have been released so far. The minister said the PMAYU scheme has been extended up to next year to complete all the houses sanctioned during the last financial year. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. The Controller and Auditor General of India signed 2 Memoranda of Understanding MOUs with Tajikistan and Kazakhstan on the sidelines of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Supreme Audit Institution's leaders meeting in Lucknow today. The agreements are aimed at strengthening cooperation and facilitating exchange of expertise in the field of auditing. The MOUs will also provide a platform for the exchange of auditing professionals and technical teams, collaboration in training programs, and mutual assistance in conducting audits. The agreements are a step forward in promoting closer ties and collaboration among the supreme audit institutions of the 3 nations. Union Minister of State for Youth Affairs and Sports, Shri Nishit Pramanik, has said through the Y20 meeting in Guwahati, the northeastern states will get an opportunity to showcase the rich heritage and culture of this region to the world. The first meeting of the Youth 20 Engagement Group under India's G20 presidency is being held at Guwahati in Assam from today. Union Minister for Youth Affairs and Sports Anurag Singh Thakur will participate in a panel discussion with the Y20 delegates on the topic Youth Dialogue with Your Minister at IIT Guwahati tomorrow, and will also launch a white paper on the concluding day. The 3-day-long Y20 Inception meet will conclude on the 8th of February 2023. The first Tourism Working Group meeting as part of G20 will begin at Dhordo in Kutch tomorrow. Union Tourism Minister G. Kishan Reddy, Union Minister for Fisheries Purushottam Rupala and Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel will officially inaugurate the meeting on the 8th of February. Addressing the media at Dhordo today, Secretary of the Ministry of Tourism Arvind Singh said there will be 4 Tourism Working Group meetings that will be held as part of G20 at various places in the country.
पर्यटन पर जो वर्किंग ग्रुप है उसकी 4 बैठकें हमने नियोजित की हैं और सबसे पहली बैठक G20 के श्रृंखला में यहां धोर्डो में रन ऑफ कच्छ में हो रहा है। 7 से 9 फरवरी तक ये बैठक आयोजित है। इसके बाद 3 और वर्किंग ग्रुप की बैठकें भारत में विभिन्न स्थलों पर होंगी। सिलीगुड़ी, दार्जिलिंग में दूसरी बैठक होगी, तीसरी बैठक उत्तर भारत में कहीं होगी पर्वतीय स्थान पर, और चौथी बैठक वर्किंग ग्रुप की गोवा में होगी, और उसके बाद G20 के पर्यटन मंत्रियों की बैठक गोवा में जून महीने में होगी।
Senior BJP leader and Union Home Minister Amit Shah asserted that the Modi government is committed to bringing peace to the northeast region. He said the BJP government signed peace treaties with militant groups in Tripura. Addressing the Vijay Sankalp rally at Shantir Bazar today, Mr. Shah said Tripura has witnessed all-round development under BJP rule. Later, he also addressed a rally at Khowai. TMC Chief and West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee reached Agartala this evening to campaign for her party candidates. Congress, left parties in Tripura Multha are also holding rallies and door-to-door campaigns for their candidates. Polling for the 60-member assembly will be held on the 16th of this month in Tripura. With just one day left for closure of filing of nominations in Meghalaya, political activities gained momentum today. AIR correspondent reports that BJP candidate from Panchthora Makara and former Minister Alexander Lalu Hek filed his nomination papers today. In Nagaland, Chief Minister and likely NDPP candidate Nephew Rio filed his nomination papers from 11 Northern Angami 2 Assembly constituency. 108 pilgrims from South Korea will visit Buddhist sites in India and Nepal from the 9th of February to the 23rd of March. The pilgrims will walk for 43 days and visit Buddhist sites in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, as well as parts of Nepal. During their journey, they will cover a distance of 1,167 kilometers. Addressing a press conference in New Delhi, Secretary, Ministry of Information and Broadcasting Apurva Chandra said the purpose of this exercise is to celebrate the 50th anniversary of diplomatic ties between South Korea and India. Mr. Chandra said the exercise also aims to increase the friendship and collaboration between the two countries.
I think this is a very, very important occasion, not only to increase the people-to-people contact in India and Korea, but also to popularize our Buddhist circuit as our Honorable Prime Minister has envisioned, so that more and more Buddhist pilgrims and tourists can come from countries where Buddhism is prevalent, whether it is Japan, China or any other country.
Speaking on the occasion, South Korean Ambassador Chang Jae-bok said during the pilgrimage, Buddhist monks will offer prayers for a peaceful and prosperous world. Light combat aircraft Navy and MiG-29K fighter aircraft today successfully performed their maiden landing and takeoff from India's first indigenous aircraft carrier INS Vikrant. According to the Indian Navy, the successful landing and takeoff will provide further impetus to self-reliance initiatives in the defence sector and will strengthen the country's combat preparedness. The government has said that for the first time, Hajj package costs have been reduced by around 50,000 rupees under the new Hajj policy. In a tweet, Minority Affairs Ministry said this new landmark Hajj policy will bring financial relief to the pilgrims. It said for the first time under the new Hajj policy, there will also be no application charges for those applying for Hajj. Indian music composer Ricky Cage has won his third Grammy Award at the 65th Annual Grammy Awards for his globally acclaimed album Divine Tides with rock legend Stuart Copeland. He dedicated the award to India. Domestic equity markets fell today amid weak global cues. The index of the top 30 companies on the Bombay Stock Exchange, Sensex, ended around the 60,500 level. A report from the Business Desk.
The Sensex declined 335 points to close at 60,507. Nifty lost 89 points to end at 17,765. At the multi-commodity exchange, gold prices were trading at around 57,000 rupees per 10 grams. Silver was up nearly 100 rupees to trade at around 68,000 rupees per kilogram, and Brent crude oil futures rose 64 cents to $80.58 a barrel, while US crude gained 37 cents to $73.76 a barrel. This is Lalema Aneja Dang for AIR News.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says Hindustan Aeronautics Limited is playing an important role in making India Atmanirbhar. Inaugurates country's biggest helicopter manufacturing plant and various other projects in Karnataka. 2 earthquakes claim over 2,000 lives in Turkey and Syria. Government to dispatch rescue teams, relief materials to quake-hit Turkey and Syria. International aid also pours in. Opposition's protest over Adani issue stalls parliament proceedings for third day in a row. Political parties and leaders pick up election campaigning in Tripura, Meghalaya and Nagaland. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.gov.in and News on AIR app. And that is all in the news at 9. Good night.